Let's take a look at Scott's top 20 starting pitchers for next season on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5 on Monday, November 25th. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Scott White, and let's take a look at Scott's early starting pitcher rankings for next season. And the top 5 includes Tarek Skubal, Zach Wheeler, Paul Skeens, Chris Sale, and Corbin Burns. Seems like there's an early consensus top 3, Scott, and then things open up with SP4. Why did you choose to go with Chris Sale in that spot?
By default, I chose Chris Sale to go there because, as you said, after the obvious top 3, it's hard to say who goes next. So probably who you should put there was the NL Triple Crown winner, NL Cy Young winner, particularly since we don't really doubt what he did performance-wise. We think Sale is exactly that. The concerns for him are obvious, though. Most of the previous 4 years he spent injured, and he was injured at the end of 2024 as well with a back issue. So can we count on him to be as durable next year? Boy, it's hard to say that. It's hard to count on that for sure. But pretty much anybody else you ranked in this 4th spot would have some noteworthy concerns as well. So I'm going to put Sale there. I'm not going to reach for him. I'm not going to be eager to take him 4th. Like right after those top 3 goes. But I think that's where he needs to rank.
SP 6 through 10, you have Logan Gilbert, Cole Reagans, Blake Snell, Dylan Cease, and Garrett Crochet. 2 names that stand out here, Scott. Blake Snell feels like maybe someone that you will have ranked higher than the rest of the industry and maybe ADP as well. And Garrett Crochet just feels like a tough one to rank. I mean, he was so good, but there was a big innings jump. Which team is he going to be traded to this offseason? I think there are questions here with both Snell and Garrett Crochet.
Yeah, there are. And to me, it really comes down to upside. If I'm going to draft a top 10 pitcher, and by the way, I'm probably not, but if I'm going to, I want to feel really confident they have Cy Young upside. And both of these guys do. Snell, I feel like we're at risk of overcomplicating things with him because of the way his past few seasons have played out. Slow start, tremendous finish. But the overall numbers the last 3 years for Snell: 2.82 ERA, 116 WHIP, 12 K per 9. That's clearly ace-like. I think maybe we stop stressing over the ups and downs and just enjoy who he is, because who he is really good. And Garrett Crochet. He was a distant number 1 in K- walk rate, led all pitchers minimum 100 innings with 12 K per 9, really dominant. It's just the second half, they limited him to 4 innings at a time. If he was still with the White Sox, I'd worry about them doing that again, but they got to trade him. He doesn't have many years of team control left. His value is never going to be higher than this. It would be ridiculous for them not to trade him this offseason. And if he winds up with a contender, I think they're just going to turn him loose.
SP 11 through 15, you have Garrett Cole, George Kirby, Framber Valdez, Michael King, and Shota Imanaga. Garrett Cole, he had the elbow injury. He came back. He made 17 starts, solid 3.41 ERA, 113 WHIP. Some of the underlying numbers, ERA estimators on the rise. Swinging strike rate, has dropped down a little bit. How did you settle here on SP 11 for Garrett Cole?
Well, you'll notice I didn't rank him as if he's totally back to form, because if I did, he'd be 1st or 2nd. That's where we knew Garrett Cole to be. I tried to find that middle ground between what I see as 3 scenarios. 1, he does get back to form and great value here at 11. 2, he's not right. I mean, he wasn't nearly as dominant with his slider this year. He didn't have the normal strikeout rate. Is that an indication that his elbow still isn't right? He's going to spend part of this year injured too. Plausible scenario. And you got to safeguard against that risk. And then there's the right down the middle view on Garrett Cole, where, okay, he didn't have his slider coming off the elbow injury and still managed to put together a 3.41 ERA, 113 WHIP, and 9.4 K per 9, which is probably good enough to take him 11th at starting pitcher. So, that's kind of just presuming, okay, Cole wasn't as good anymore, and that's just who he is now. He's healthy, but he's diminished, but he's still really good. And so that's where I land on Cole. And I think it's a nice middle ground way of looking at it.
All right. And your SP 16 through 20, you have Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Hunter Green, Pablo Lopez, and Luis Castillo. And if you want to hear more about those names and a bunch of other ones, we talked about Scott's top 50 starting pitchers on our full-length podcast, Fantasy Baseball Today. You can listen to that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we also talked about my perfect Thanksgiving plate. You don't want to miss out on that.
Yes, good times. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we'll be back again on Wednesday. Bye-bye.